Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world, and whenever you are tuning into this video. My name is James Porcelli, and welcome to another very special edition of the Ruthless Talk podcast. Happy Labor Day weekend. Hopefully everybody is enjoying the holiday weekend, time with their friends, their family, and their loved ones. Shout out to my co-host, Brian. Obviously, as you can see, he is not with me today. So your boy is going to be rocking this pay-per-view, and my co-host, Brian, will be back to talk about Bash in Berlin when he comes back and joins me for Thursday when we do go over Monday Night Raw. The Monday Night Raw after Bash in Berlin, which is, well, spoiler alert, which is what we're going over today. But much shout out and much love to Brian Thomas, as I know he is spending good quality time at the beach right now. He's a lucky bastard with his family and everything. So, Brian, if you're listening to this, shout out to you as always. So, and of course, for most of you guys, I'm sure you guys are going to be catching this pretty much during Labor Day weekend, slightly after Labor Day weekend, sometime middle of the week. So if that is the case, hopefully your Labor Day was good. Hopefully your holiday was great. And much love to all of you guys that continue to listen to this platform on a day by week basis as well. So much love to everybody. So today, ladies and gentlemen, is a good one. Today we go over WWE Bash in Berlin that happened yesterday evening. There is a 5-match card to go over. There is a lot to discuss. We talked about AEW in our last episode. Make sure you guys go check that out. That was AEW All In. We broke down a full match card. It was a long video as well. We mixed in some WWE here and there as well. Monday Night Raw, all that good stuff. If you haven't checked that out, definitely go check that out. That is on our YouTube channel right now. Also, if you are watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are well over 200 subscribers on the channel, so make sure you guys continue to spread the word and join this lovely community, as well as, of course, we're available on Spotify and Apple Podcast as well for you guys to check us out. So we are shifting gears from AEW to WWE. But before we do get into this pay-per-view, and I will try to make this brief, and this is pretty much to kind of piggyback off of our last episode, which was all about AEW, as well as meshing in some stuff that happened on Dynamite, AEW Dynamite. And I know as well we have a very special guest for today, so I also want to shout out him for keeping his patience, because I know he's dying to get up on here, but I will try to keep this as short as quick as I can. And me and Brian were able to kind of at least try to gather our thoughts and everything while the show was going live, as we were talking the pay-per-view AEW All In. And one of those big topics, and we'll kind of go over 3 big topics from the show. And overall, this show was pretty darn decent. I mean, it's unfortunate that once again, if you go and look at latest ratings, the numbers just don't show it. And it's really unfortunate, right? And I've spoken about it many times, to where the inconsistency with AEW continues to kind of just push fans away in droves. And now it's all comes down to AEW and their consistency to get those fans and to get those people back on the right track. But today, at least even though the numbers don't show it, this was actually a really good show. A lot of really good sequences, a lot of good moments, a lot of good promos, a lot of face-to-faces. One of those actually was part of Ricochet's in-ring debut. Right now, the match, take it or leave it, right? I mean, it's against Kyle Fletcher. Just take it or leave it, I guess. But it's what happened after the match that ended up being honestly really effective. You had, of course, Will Ospreay. They're trying to tease that in regards to it. But you had Pac come out and attack Will Ospreay. Of course, he has a matchup at All Out, AEW All Out, that is coming up next week. And I really like this segment for what it was, because one, the way that Pac carried himself in this segment, and of course the delivery in his voice, but also the words that he exchanged with Ricochet and planting seeds, not just with Will Ospreay, but future matches with Ricochet and a future feud as well, right? And I've spoken this before. When it comes to Ricochet, right? If Ricochet's going to come in here and be the flavor of the month, whatever you want to call him, and really truly help this company, not just to have banger matches that do absolutely nothing, that are just completely forgettable, but if he's here to really make a statement and to really help this company, a feud with Pac is honestly a really good way to go, right? And not only that, but you tease and continue to plant seeds with Will Ospreay. Thought that was really well done. And the only question is for Ricochet, is he going to swing or is he going to swim? That's the only question. Can he carry himself to do his part to make a feud that's sitting in their lap that has so much potential, but can Ricochet be the one to truly carry himself and to make that feud special? We shall see. But shout out to all of those people involved. We'll see where that goes. And then you have Bryan Danielson, right? Bryan Danielson and this matchup he's got coming up now with Jack Perry. That's right. Jack Perry, your TNT champion, as he will be challenging him also at AEW All Out. And I will say the very first reaction that I had, right, in regards to this was like, Jack Perry and Bryan Danielson, that is really, really freaking weird. But I took a step back, right, because it was live, and I took another couple hours to think about it. I was like, all right, you know what? The pay-per-view is in less than 2 weeks. You need to find that heel in front of a Chicago crowd that's going to gain a lot of heat and a lot of attraction. What better way than Jack Perry to do such? There's already less than 2 weeks on the card. It's really no harm, no foul, and it's honestly more of an exhibition really than anything, because honestly, I'm sure a lot of people would agree to this. There's a lot more wrestlers back in that locker room to where however long Bryan Danielson is going to hold on to this AEW title, there's a lot more wrestlers in that locker room that deserve or have earned a lengthier feud with Bryan Danielson. People like Jon Moxley, and we're going to get to him, and many others. So doing this with Jack Perry, who's gaining a lot of good steam right now and is going to collect so much heat in Chicago, it's no harm, no foul, guys. I know people like Jack Perry, that's your matchup for Danielson. But again, man, it's less than 2 weeks, right? They only can do so much. They can only rush the card. So I have honestly no issue with that in regards to it. I think Jack Perry can do a lot of good things, especially in this new role. And we'll see where it goes. It's only a less than 2 week build. He's going to gain a lot of heat in Chicago. And I think it's honestly the best case scenario. And then we have Jon Moxley, right? Jon Moxley, who broke the headlines with this opening segment that he was a part of, talking to Tony Schiavone, saying that this is no longer your company anymore. And immediately, a lot of wrestling fans went to the idea of Shane McMahon, right? This is maybe some WCW type of ownership, right? Shane McMahon's going to now take over the company, whatever the case may be. And that could be the case. But the more that I'm thinking about this as well, is that there's honestly 3 options. Yes, one of the options is that it could be Shane McMahon, right? And I'm honestly looking forward to if Shane McMahon does come into this company, because I do think that behind the scenes and what he can do maybe as a suit and tie can truly benefit this company. I think Shane McMahon has a lot to offer in regards to his wrestling knowledge, and he's got a chip on his shoulder, man. There's a lot of people that he wants to stick it to WWE. That includes his own father, Vince McMahon. So we'll see in regards to what happens, but option number 1, yeah, it's Shane McMahon. The other option, and honestly, what's honestly the most realistic option, is the Elite. Moxley and the Elites are somewhat behind and pulling strings and working this certain deal. Because think about it. The Elite for weeks and months on end talking about running the company. This is their company. And what better way to put Mox in this situation, a guy that can go after who is now your new world champion in Bryan Danielson. There's history with the BCC, because Jack Perry isn't going to be that dude to take that world title, right? And Okada has the Continental Classic Championship. So if you want to have Moxley maybe join this little stable with the Elite, and maybe not an actual faction, but maybe like a handshake type of deal, to where now the Elite is truly running the company to get their character work back in fray. That's honestly the most that makes really, truly any sense. But the reason why I don't think it's Shane McMahon is because the addition of Marina Shafir. Think about it. Out of everybody to include in this segment, right? For a Shane McMahon type of takeover, Marina Shafir, and this is no shade, Marina Shafir is going to be that added piece to that faction, which is with Shane McMahon and taking over the company. Moxley, that makes sense. Marina Shafir, I don't know, man. So that's why I'm kind of thinking it's more of the Elite. Or the third option as this is just Moxley running his own stable without the Elite, without any of those suits and ties involved. But the most important thing, man, as I'll try to wrap this up and get to our special guests and get into this pay-per-view review, AEW put on a solid show, at least for a post all-in show. Again, it's really a shame, though, that the numbers are just not showing it, that the numbers are just still not there. And hopefully, maybe if you can build off of this going into next week with Moxley, with Marina Shafir, and continue to add that momentum, who freaking knows? But AEW still has a lot of soul searching to do. There's a lot of work that they need to do. But last week was a start, but this is where they either sink or they swim. Are they going to just fall back and have another lackluster show and lose another 200,000 viewers? Or are they going to continue to add this and continue to make quality content and finally get to where AEW could and should be? So we'll see in regards to, I know Brian will talk a lot more about it. I know he's not fond over the Jack Perry situation, but we'll see. I know he'll get a lot to say in regards to it, but those are my takes in regards to AEW. Again, just picking off of yesterday's episode. Make sure you guys go check that out. Now, without further ado, I know he's been waiting patiently. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, today we have a very special guest with me going over this pay-per-view Bash in Berlin. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I will be doing the edition of the good, the bad, and the ugly review. I will go over those rules in just a second, but let me introduce my very special guest for today's show. Ladies and gentlemen, he is an amazing content creator. He has over thousands upon thousands of followers on Instagram. He covers baseball, he covers football, he covers basketball, the kitchen sink, as well as professional wrestling. He is known as the Average Sports Guy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ruthless Talk studio, my man, Carlo. Carlo, what's up, bro? How's it going, my man? How are you, man? I appreciate you taking the time, joining the show, man. How are you, bro?
Absolutely. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for inviting me on the Ruthless Talk podcast. It has been a long time coming. Like you said, just a little bit of a brief background about me. I grew up watching wrestling since 1999. So I mean, I watch football, baseball, basketball. I watch every single sport, but professional wrestling has always been my love since an 8-year-old boy watching The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker, all the way through John Cena, all the way through the crap COVID era, all the way to the current day led by the COO Triple H. So I'm a huge wrestling fan. Thank you so much for inviting me to your platform. I'm so excited to go talk about Bash in Berlin. So thank you.
Of course, man. Of course. And if you guys want to know more about Carlo and his content, I will put descriptions down below for you guys to go check him out, as well as give him a follow. Like I said, he makes really good content, not just with pro wrestling, but also with sports in general, baseball, football, and basketball. So if you're a big sports fan, if you're a big sports guy, then, well, Carlo is your guy. So make sure you guys go check out that description down below. Give my man Carlo a follow and check out his amazing content.
I appreciate it. And I am also active on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube as well. So I'm across all major platforms.
Nice. Very nice, man. Once again, appreciate you having you on this show, my man. Sis, this is a lot. It's like you said, it's been in the works now for the last several weeks, but finally we're here and we're going to get this thing started. So without further ado, almost 15 minutes already into this episode, we are going to dive straight into this Bash in Berlin review. So I will go over tallies in this review. So with this good, the bad, and the ugly review, each match will get at least one tally. For every tally that goes into that ugly column, that will get crossed off into two bads once we do the final tallies. Whoever has the most tallies in that good or bad column will determine whether this show was a good or a bad PLE. So let's dive straight into it, man. This was WWE Bash in Berlin, live in Berlin, Germany. We kick things off with the undisputed WWE Championship match. This was the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, versus your challenger, Kevin Owens. This match time in length was 26 minutes in length. Decent match overall, as we kind of pretty much expected it would be, even though face versus face. There's obviously been teases of a heel turn. Did we get a heel turn? Well, we're going to find out just shortly. So they definitely emphasized Cody Rhodes, at least the end of this match, with his injured knee that he had pretty much mentioned over on SmackDown the night previous about this knee injury. And Kevin Owens is trying to not go back to that old Kevin Owens before, right? He's trying to change his ways, right? There was a point in the match to where Cody Rhodes kind of tweaked his knee. Kevin Owens didn't want to go after the knee, didn't want to like tarnish, I guess, the reputation of his victory, like it was a tainted victory. Then they go out to the outside. Cody Rhodes is like screaming in his face, like, I'm fine, I'm okay. Then he finally just takes out the knee. He just chops him straight in the knee with his foot. He goes to hit the pop-up powerbomb on the apron, but he can't bring himself to do it. However, then we go back into the ring. Cody Rhodes is about to hit the trifecta crossroads, the 3 crossroads. He hits 2 of them, and then Kevin Owens was able to counter, hit the stunner. Cody Rhodes kicks out at 2 9/10. Kevin Owens ends up going onto the top rope to hit a swanton. Cody Rhodes counters it, ends up hitting the crossroads, hits it flush, goes for the cover, hits the 1, 2, 3, and Cody Rhodes retains his championship, of course, as expected. However, after the match, this is what we were all expecting. Is he going to turn? Is he not going to turn? What are they going to do? Are they going to drag this along? So they both come face to face. They kind of embrace in this hug, but you can tell Kevin Owens is still very frustrated with himself, right? Kind of frustrated that maybe he didn't pull the trigger with the pop-up powerbomb, all the opportunities that he had. And the camera was like straight in his face, and he kind of just shoved the camera out of the way out of frustration. But at the end of the day, it's Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens are still buddy, joint at the hip, at least for now. Who knows?
For now, yeah.
So I got a lot to say with this, but Carlo, as my special guest, I'll allow you to start, man. What are your thoughts on this opening match between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes for this WWE title?
Well, obviously, these are 2 great workers. I mean, I was very, very happy for Kevin Owens to get this opportunity. Now, do I think that the match itself really made a lot of sense? Absolutely not. I mean, because Kevin Owens is a face. You know, he's been buddy with Cody Rhodes really for the last 3-4 months. But I'm happy to see Kevin Owens not be a bloodline punching bag for the first time in 4 years, because really, I mean, he's faced Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, he's faced Tonga, all these guys, and I'm like, Kevin Owens deserves better. I mean, he is one of the best heels. If you watch his work in NXT, if he's watched his work on Friday Night SmackDown, back in 2017, him as Universal Champion back in 2016. This guy is a fantastic heel, fantastic worker. I thought the match itself was very good. I mean, not surprised. Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, 2 great workers. Of course, the crowd was going to be into it. What I would have liked to see was right when Cody tweaked that knee, is that I would have actually liked to see Kevin Owens go full heel and him just go after that knee. I don't care if the match even ended in the DQ. I want Owens to get a chair out. He goes after Cody's knee. He takes him out. Pop-up powerbomb after pop-up powerbomb after pop-up powerbomb. Just like give this story some oomph, because this is one of the problems with this long-term storytelling is that sometimes you don't know when to pull the trigger. And this was the perfect opportunity for them to pull the trigger. Cody Rhodes has an injury. Let Kevin get frustrated that he hasn't been able to put Cody away. Gave him a stunner, kicked out. Pop-up powerbomb, kick out. Let him just go full heel, turn there. Instead of having this, you know, kind of bro hug after the match. You don't know, now is he going to turn on SmackDown? Is he going to have another match at Bad Blood? Like, it's just too many questions. It's like, let's get the story moving here. Let's get it moving. So yes, like the match, sure, good quality match. I mean, but it's Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. Like, we knew that. Match with almost anybody. But I think from a storyline standpoint, WWE could have told a much better story.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm glad that you honestly mentioned that, right? Because like you said, man, it's a face versus face matchup, right? We know the match was going to be, wait for it, a banger, right? That's the freaking term that wrestling fans just love to use I'm sorry, I can't stand it because it's such an overused term.
Every match is a banger now. I know.
For real. It's so ridiculous. But anyway, I do like at least trying to tease, I guess, the turn, but I honestly agree with you, bro. Like, I would have just done the turn right then and there. Like, what are you trying to drag this out for? Like, you're going to do this on SmackDown? What then? What's you could have just done it at Bash in Berlin. Then it's on a bigger stage, right? I mean, you're going to create a massive headline anyway. This match was just, a good match, but it felt like a giant waste of time, if that makes sense, right? Because nothing truly came out of it outside of the good match. And you got the teases here and there, and you can plant that going into SmackDown. But why not create a big headline from the show? Kevin Owens turns heel. You set it up probably at Bash in Berlin, right? Just do it right then and there to just have this good, decent match. I mean, it was decent. It was good. I'm not going to like go overbloat and say that this was a great match. It was a decent match. But just for Kevin Owens not to do the heel turn and to continue to, like you said, Carlo, kind of drag this out. And again, playing this, I don't know, this long-term storytelling type shtick. It's just really weird. This match going into it was really weird because all they pretty much did going into this point, because they have no other heels for Cody to go against. So you have to turn Kevin Owens heel because, it's better than Cody just facing the Bloodline or Kevin Owens just continuing to fight against the Bloodline for another 4 more fucking years. So trust me, it's a better option into that degree. But to not have Kevin Owens turn heel, if that's what your plan is, right? If your plan is to eventually turn Kevin Owens heel, if that is on SmackDown, just do it at Bash in Berlin anyway. What's the point of doing it on SmackDown versus on a big stage, a big PLE like Bash in Berlin? That doesn't make any sense. And to start the night off with that, right? Because yes, the crowd was into it. It's Germany. It's their first big PLE in Germany, so the crowd's going to be hot. And much love to everybody, right? The crowd in Germany, much love to them for bringing good energy and vibes and all that stuff. Good for them. But to start the night off with face versus face and to not do the turn and just to drag this on and do these little teases, it's just like, why? just pull the trigger. So with that being said, I'm going to reveal my tally, and I'm very 50-50 with this. I want to put this into the good because we know that the turn is coming in anyway, but to start the night off just to do a face versus face match, nothing truly came out of it outside of maybe a tease here and there. If they would have done the turn, Carlo, I would have put this into the good instantly and made a memorable moment out of it. You let the segment breathe. But they didn't do that. And now we once again go through another PLE, another pay-per-view match to where Cody Rhodes' title reign, his defenses are just feeling forgettable, right? A good match that's not really going to be remembered in the next several months. It's just not. So I hate that I have to do this because, again, I like Kevin Owens a lot. And I liked how the realism he has brought into this story, or whatever you want to call it, right? He bringing up his win-loss record, right? I shouldn't be getting this title match because if you look at my win, I like that, man. That at least brings some realism, right, to fans that are like, bro, this dude has been 50-50 booked. He's been losing and winning matches at 50 and 50%. Like, what is he doing getting it? So at least like you're acknowledging that portion of the crowd. And it felt refreshing because you never really hear that before. So on Kevin Owens' part, I appreciate him. But the booking overall and dragging this out, it was just underwhelming. And just for a PLE, man, that's just not acceptable to me and my standards, unfortunately. So start this night off. I'm going to reveal my tally. That's going to go straight into the bad column. I mean, listen, not that he was even overall like bad. Like this was like, one.
But it could have been much better.
Yeah, absolutely. Like this wasn't like a guaranteed like bad, like the match was ugly or whatever. It could have gone either way, man, but the turn would have definitely sent this in a different direction. So, and who knows, I guess Solo Sikoa as well. He's made a statement that he's going to go after to whoever the champion is, which is of course now Cody Rhodes, but there's no fucking way, man. You can do Cody and Solo again. Hopefully the plan is, because Roman Reigns is supposed to be back to when SmackDown is back on the USA Network. So hopefully maybe they're at least setting up that with Roman and Solo, maybe with Jacob Fatu and Solo. I mean, a fan can only hope in regards to that. So I don't know. I'm at least hopeful that Solo is not going to be the one to once again fight against Cody for the 10,000th time, at least what
Right.
it feels
And
like.
lose again.
And lose again as this tribal chief shtick that he's in. So
Well,
I really
also
hope that
too,
that's
like one of the problems too is that like WWE is that they always try to just soup up all of these PLEs, for like whenever a superstar gets called out, it's like, why don't they do Solo versus Cody on an episode of SmackDown? Why do you have to just build it up, to give fans this false hope? It's like do you think that the fans are really going to expect Cody Rhodes to drop his title to Solo Sikoa at the next PLE, which is Bad Blood? Absolutely not. So then just have the match on SmackDown where Solo can lose again. It's like it doesn't make any sense, and I feel like that is one of the issues with Cody's title reign, is that like what you talked about, long-term storytelling. Not everything has to be long-term storytelling. It's like, I would have been totally fine if Kevin Owens beat Cody Rhodes. Why? Referee got knocked down. Cody beat the hell, Kevin beat the hell out of Cody because he turned fully heel, just went crazy. Yeah. Kevin Owens got the belt for a month or two. What's the problem with that? We don't need all these champions having the belt for 8 months, a year and a half. It's like, I grew up in the Attitude Era. Do you know Stone Cold Steve Austin, like back in 99, 2000, like it was hot potato. It went from Stone Cold to Triple H, back to The Rock, back to Triple H, back to The Rock, back to Triple H. It's like, these guys didn't need the title for 8-9 months. It's like, no, because they built up main event stars. And that's one of the problems with WWE now is that, you had Roman Reigns. He had the title for 4 years. Then nobody was worthy of beating him. That's why you gave him that championship for that long. And now with Cody, no one's worthy of beating Cody Rhodes because they haven't elevated these stars. He's not losing the Solo. The chances of Kevin Owens beating him were -5 out of 10. So then, and that's the problem with that the only real challenger is that they're building The Rock or Randy Orton possibly for WrestleMania. Bro. And so that's the problem with the reign, is that like you're disinterested because Cody has zero chance of dropping the belt until he fights either Cody or until he fights Rock or Randy. So I'm disinterested.
Yeah. And and I go back to the draft, man, like the draft and not setting up Cody for success when he does win the championship, to have reasonable heels to fight against along this journey, to where when he does get to The Rock, when he does get to Randy Orton, right, it's at least feeling like the title reign is not just in cruise control, right? Because that's what the title reign feels like right now. And it's not even Cody Rhodes' fault. It's just unfortunate booking on WWE's end, to where, oh, well, we don't have any heels besides the Bloodline. Let's turn Kevin Owens heel. And then a couple months when we're on Netflix, then we're going to turn Randy Orton heel. Like I don't know, which should happen, by the way. Orton and Cody, hopefully that happens at some point. I'm sure they're going to wait until Netflix to probably do that feud, because you can argue that match should be at least on a WrestleMania type of stage. Yeah, and I hear where you're coming from too, in regards to like when you were talking about the Attitude Era, Carlo, in regards to like hot potato with the championship. I've never been fan of like hot potato with the championship. And I would have said it back then if I was a part of the Attitude Era. It's just not just the wrestlers, right? But also like the prestige of the championship as well. Like, how seriously can you take somebody holding onto that title when they can't even hold it for more than like 2 weeks to a month? So it has its perks, right? There's times to where if you want to, there's transitional champions to where it works, but there's times to where if you don't book it properly, it could really damage not just the wrestler, but also the title itself and how we feel about the championship title overall. Look at the women's tag titles, and we're about to go over there. Like, there's not a single tag team that can hold on to that title for more than 2 months. And like, we wonder why nobody gives a shit about the tag division. Exactly. So it's just really odd, man, in regards to, but so, yeah, I mean, guys, I didn't want to have to do that and put that in the bad column. But listen, you guys know me. I'm a very honest, straightforward person. And if they would have done the turn, if they would have created a big headline, then we could be having a different conversation. But they went the cute, safe route. And I'm sorry, it's just not how you start a pay-per-view off. I don't care if it's in Bash in Berlin. I don't care if this is SummerSlam. I don't care if this is Money in the Bank. To do it like that, man, I'm sorry. There's just standards, man. And then that's to start a night off with Cody Rhodes, of all people, your world champion. yeah, like that just can't happen. But let's move on. Let's move on to our next matchup, man. Speaking of the women's tag titles, that is our next matchup. We have your challengers, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, versus your champions, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. This match was only 12 minutes in length. This matchup, guys, was... I love all of these ladies to death. I love Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. I really do like Jade Cargill, and I like Bianca Belair. There was some spots in this match that were very, very messy. And much love to Jade and Bianca. You know, they're trying to make this tag team shtick work with like a lot of tag moves and flips and whatever, you know, but sometimes it's just like the full effect of the move doesn't come off as clean as they would want it to be. And it just gets messy. It gets clunky. I'm just like, you're Jade and Bianca. You guys are behemoths of women of stature, like Wonder Woman. Just beat people's asses, clotheslines, punches, kicks. I feel like they're trying to do too much of that to where it gets a little bit messy at times. And all of these ladies just did not really gel together very well at all. But at the end of the day, Jade Cargill and Bianca end up winning this match, this new tag team finisher that they have. I don't even know what it's called, but like Bianca would like kick, I think it was Isla Dawn that took the pinfall, but kick Isla Dawn, and that would mesh right into an overhead German suplex by Jade Cargill, pinning her for the 1-2-3. And we have new WWE Women's Tag Champions. 2 months, another 2 month, less than 2 month title reign, this time at the hands of Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. So for 2 straight months, we took the titles off of these ladies just to get a cheap pop in Scotland at Clash at the Castle. That's pretty much what they told you here. And Carlo, I'm sorry, but it's bullshit. It's lackluster and it's lazy. If this was the decision, why do you even take the titles off of Jade and Bianca to begin with?
That's exactly what I was saying.
Why?
Doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense at all, bro. Right? And let's not act like Alba, and much love to these two. Like they are so talented, and I feel like a lot of these matches to where it does get sloppy with some of these ladies. I feel like even for Alba Fire, like her confidence is shot because of how she's been treated on this roster. And how she's been booked with Isla Dawn being an almost irrelevancy in this tag division. And Triple H just being like, oh, that's right. We're in Scotland for Clash. Yeah, let's put the titles on them. What are we doing after that? Just play it by ear. We don't fucking know, but just put the titles on them. That's pretty much what this was, guys. There's no care. There's no thought. There's no effort put into it. And you weaken Jade and Bianca's booking just to have that cheap pop in that moment. Makes no sense. And it derails the titles itself once again. And if there's no plan for these titles, if you don't want to build a team in a division, don't have these fucking titles, because I'm at a point to where I want so bad for this company to truly book these titles prestigious, right? And it's so hard for you to constantly flip to this team to win it and then this team to win it every month to 2 months. And it's exhausting, right? And not only that, but getting to matches through tournaments, through number one contenders matches, no story, no heat, no true care and effort at all. And again, just to add on to that, the match, I'm sorry, was just not that good. It was, again, very sloppy, some of the sequences, and clunky. Absolutely, Carlo. Guys, this wasn't bad. Wait for it. This was fucking ugly. Jesus Christ. I mean, much love to, again, all 4 of these ladies. Again, I like Jade Cargill a lot. I really just adore Bianca Belair a lot. And I love Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. That's the definition of a true tag team. But you book them like this. And on top of that, just not being on their A game, it just makes this situation just really bad. And that's all I can say. Carlo, what are your thoughts, man, on this women's tag title match?
Yeah, I pretty much agree that there's no reason the unholy union should have won the tag team titles in the first place. I mean, really, like Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill are physical specimens that they should be booked like the Undertaker and Kane of the female tag team division. That's really what they should be. They should be power bombing people. They should be doing back body drops, strong hip tosses. They should be doing all kinds of powerful moves. And really, they should have never lost those championships. Now what you do is that it's kind of back to square one with the unholy union that they just lost their tag title. So are they going to get a rematch? No, they're probably going to go back to the end of the line and then probably not even get on Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. Like, it's just an absolute joke. I mean, and like what you said, they really haven't done anything with the tag team division. So I would have rather seen Jade and Bianca lose. I would have rather have seen them lose and then them just kind of start showing some animosity between each other and then start to turn one of them heel instead of now it's going to be so predictable. They're going to be tag champions for the next 4 or 5 months. One of them might get jealous of the other. Oh, and then they're going to lose the belt around Royal Rumble or Elimination Chamber. And then you're going to have the WrestleMania match let's throw a curveball in there. Let's try to just swerve people. It's just getting too predictable. It's like, not everything has to be long-term storytelling, because at this point, the fans like us are figuring it out. We know what you're going to do. So just do it instead of having us wait 6-7 months, because we've already figured it out.
Right. Yeah. It's like we said about the KO and Cody turn. Like, we know it's coming, right? We sense it. You've already been teasing it. Just pull the motherfucking trigger, bro. Exactly. It's not that hard, right? It's one thing if you're telling a story, right? And they're teasing all this stuff that it's been built really well. You don't know where it's going to go. That's one thing, right? And there's multiple options of where it could go. But to blatantly just kind of almost insult people's intelligence, like we don't know where this story is going, right? Just pull the trigger, right? And even if the case, like, even if we do know where the story's going, even if how good it could be, right? Just do it properly, right? So where it still benefits all of these wrestlers, And like you said, with Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, just to kind of go back to that, I don't know where they go from here. Yeah. Are they just going to go back to catering and Triple H is saying, all right, cool. Thanks, ladies, for 2 months. We'll call you when we have something for you. Pretty much. It's just, it sucks. It really does suck, man. And I've said this many times, and we're going to get to Liv and Rhea, of course, later on in their mixed tag match. Outside of those two ladies, I mean, Carlo, think about this. What is the women's division truly doing right now? It's really nothing. You got Nia Jax and you got Tiffany. There's something maybe there. Who knows? I mean, I'm still very hopeful with that. Maybe we'll see. But outside of that, what is there in this women's division?
I was going to say that the women's tag team division is so bad. I don't even know if the matches would make Sunday Night Heat back in the day. Bro, or Saturday Velocity. It's literally that bad. And I'm also too, yes, it really sucks for the unholy union. It also sucks for Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, because then they're going to have to spend the next 6 months just beating random ass tag teams and having average to below average storytelling. But this is Bianca Belair, who has headlined a couple WrestleManias. Okay, you have Jade Cargill, who's one of the most talented females, especially from a physical standpoint, in the company right now. And they're just doing B tag team work. Why? Because eventually they're going to turn on each other to lead to WrestleMania match. It's pointless. It's stupid.
Exactly. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. And I've even said it before, speaking with Brian, like, I mean, if they win these championships, like, as we've been talking about, that there could be maybe teases coming with the heel turn from Jade or Bianca. They're going to have this big feud. Why would they need to feud now? They have the titles back. So what's the point of doing that? And I honestly think, Carlo, I truly feel like this company feels like Jade Cargill is still not ready to go off as a solo competitor. And I think that's why they're still dragging this along with her in a tag team with Bianca. They're still not confident in her ability to go solo, and so they're keeping her with Bianca to just continue to protect her. Right. Yeah. And I think that's honestly one of the things that really truly comes to mind, is that they don't feel that Jade is ready. So they're going to continue to protect her as much as she can in this tag team with Bianca and stretch it out as much as they can. So
but also too, what's that doing is that's also holding back Bianca too.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. No, absolutely. And that's the
100%.
thing too. It's just like they want to keep Bianca stuck in this tag team to help with Jade, but that's also hurting Bianca in the process because Bianca's no longer a talking point, not even in this company, let alone these other two shows, Raw and SmackDown. So no, I absolutely agree with you. As much as they're trying to protect Jade, you're also just derailing Bianca in the process, but just doing this redundant shit every week. So no, dude, absolutely. So who knows, man, of where this goes. It's obviously just random tag team. I'm getting maybe Pure Fusion Collective. Is that their freaking name? Maybe they go after Jade and Bianca. I can't stand that fucking name. Seriously. I mean, more like Pure.
I would try to get creative, like have them fight Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. Just something different, you know? Instead of Damage Control, instead of Unholy Union, or yeah, you know, like you said, Sonya Deville and Zoe Stark that stand negative chance against them. Like, it's just pointless.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. But the fortunate thing, of course, though, is the draft, right? But again, it's not like this company gives a shit about the draft. I mean, Randy Orton, the SmackDown superstar, is going after a Raw exclusive championship, so they could just jump. They could jump freaking people like Tiffany Stratton or a Nia Jax over on SmackDown. Or I mean, Bianca and Jade now have the championship, so they could go over to SmackDown, I guess, as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but it's still sometimes WWE and trying to explain things about the draft and its titles, it's fucking weird. So yeah, man, like I said, guys, not off to a great start. You know, I've been hearing stuff about this was one of the greatest PLEs like in this year. I'm like, I don't see it at all. From the first match to this, I just don't see it. Not off to a great start. So far, it's 3 in the bad and 0 in the ugly for me. But this next matchup could truly turn things around. So let's jump into it. This was a strap match. This was CM Punk, Phil Brooks versus Drew McIntyre. This matchup in length was just under 20 minutes. So far in this pay-per-view, right, something has to pick up. Drew McIntyre and Punk, they need to deliver in this match, and boy, did they ever. This was really, really, really good, man. Punk and Drew, they were on their A game. Punk, there was a table spot by Punk. Punk ended up getting busted open. It was bloody. It was gruesome. It was physical. And then towards the end of this match, Punk has McIntyre right where he wants him. He hits all 4 corner of the turnbuckles, but as he does that, he hits a GTS after every single time he hits the turnbuckle. He hits the turnbuckle, delivers a GTS, hits another turnbuckle, hits a second GTS. He hits the third turnbuckle, he hits another GTS, right? And then he hits the GTS again for the 4th time, and before he hits the turnbuckle, he gets his bracelet back that was on Drew McIntyre's wrist. And the crowd actually went pretty wild. The Germany crowd, just as simple as a bracelet, right? He grabs the bracelet, smacks the turnbuckle, and CM Punk wins this match, man. That was so damn good. The climax of of Punk getting that bracelet back, just the moment and making just a bracelet, right? A little piece of jewelry that maybe isn't even worth freaking $5 to $10. But if you do something very simplistic and effective like a bracelet in a moment like that, on how that was built with the GTSs and hitting the all the turnbuckles, all the sides of the turnbuckle, I thought that was a really nice touch, man. And that definitely added a really cool moment in this match for what was already a good match between these two. So Punk wins this match as expected, right? As we expect this to now prolong. Punk has called out Gunther. As I'm sure you could see a potential match between Gunther and Punk, or an opportunity for Punk to go after that title. Drew is probably going to cost Punk, and it's going to continue to prolong this feud. And I hope exactly, Bad Blood, which I believe is going to be Hell in a Cell. That's what's being rumored, that the match is going to be inside Hell in a Cell for Bad Blood. But I do hope that, Carlo, and I send this off to you because I'm sure I'll say nothing that's already been said about this match. This was damn good from start to finish. This was one of Punk's best matches since he's been back in the company, of course, in the injuries for a very, very long time. Absolutely. And Punk looked damn good. He's also looks in pretty darn good shape as well.
I know he's been in a long time.
Absolutely. I definitely give him credit in regards to it, but the bracelet was such a nice touch. And I do hope that the bracelet portion of the story is over, right? Don't just have Punk just grab, or Drew McIntyre grab the bracelet back and you're kind of playing hot potato with this bracelet. The bracelet part of the story is done. Now for Drew McIntyre, it's just about ending this fucking dude's career. Like, he is so livid. He is so beyond fuming that he needs to put Punk away once and for all. And that's what it should be. But for what that was yesterday, everybody played their role so well. Punk and the bracelet was a nice touch. The GTSs were a nice touch. It was physical. It was gruesome. And they delivered, bro. And it was something that this PLE truly needed to save this PLE, at least so far in the show. I'm not going to waste time, and I'll get to you, Carlo. Usually in these reviews, I would give this a great, meaning 2 goods. And guys, that's exactly what I'm going to do. This was absolutely great, man. This was really, really well done. Much love to Punk. Much love to Drew as well. It takes 2 to tango. Really good stuff, man, overall. And that was a good little bounce back from the first 2 matches to start the night off. Carlo, what are your thoughts, man? Punk and McIntyre in the strap match.
I 100% agree. I mean, kind of to differ from the first 2 matches of this PLE. This is what happens when you have great in-ring work mixed in with a tremendous story that's been building and building and building. And that these are 2 pros at their highest right now. I mean, CM Punk has been able to tell a magnificent story ever since the Royal Rumble, even when he got hurt, to keep this story still fresh, which is pretty damn hard to do because it's September 1st today, and this feud is still going between those 2, and they've only had 2 matches. So hats off to CM Punk. Hats off to Drew McIntyre for just his promo work getting just significantly better.
Yes.
And stuff. Him turning heel has just revolutionized his entire character. And so, this was an epic match. This reminded me of some of the older strap matches. Like you said, there was blood. It was a little bit slow paced to kind of feel the emotion and the story that was told. I love the ending of the match, like what you said, with every GTS after every time that he hit the corner.
Yes,
he waited a long time to hit that last corner when I was like, is Drew gonna, Drew gonna somehow can win this match? But no, I thought it was excellent. CM Punk looked fantastic. He was in the best condition I've seen him since his UFC match. I mean, he did not look this well in AEW. I mean, no, he looked absolutely fantastic. So hats off to these 2 guys. A match, tremendous story told, and then awesome match. I feel like once the SummerSlam match happened, especially having Seth Rollins kind of in there, that we were kind of done with this just because we expected it to go towards Seth and CM Punk. I'm happy they took Seth out of it. I'm happy they took Seth out of it and had it go back to just Drew and Punk to let their feud resolve itself. And then post match in the post interview, when Punk's in the locker room talking about how he wants to fight Gunther, what I would do to have this story mean something, have him fight again at Bad Blood in Hell in a Cell, and the winner fights Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. I think that would be good, instead of, because like what you said, it's too predictable. If we have Punk trying to go after Gunther in a number 1 contender match on Raw, we know Drew McIntyre is going to screw him, just like we knew CM Punk was going to cost.
No, absolutely, yeah.
Just like we knew that CM Punk was going to cost Drew McIntyre when he cashed in Money in the Bank for 5 seconds. Yeah. So that's what I would do. That would put some extra fire on this, and then that would make their last match close their story and lead to a new story, having Gunther's next challenger.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And to kind of add to that, you can have Punk, be in the middle of the ring and kind of be like, hey, I'm done with Drew. I got my bracelet back. We went through hell and back through the strap match, but I'm looking to move on. And what I'm moving on towards is that World Heavyweight Championship. And you can kind of let the moment soak into where maybe Punk is either leaving the ring or vice versa, whatever. And you have Drew McIntyre once again, annihilate this dude in gruesome fashion, to where Drew McIntyre makes this statement to where dude, this is far from over. I'm not finished with you. I'm not done with you. To where you don't even have to go through, like you said, a number 1 contenders match or whatever. You just have a really cool moment and a segment that can continue this feud, which we already know is going to happen. So yeah, absolutely. Don't even really waste Drew or Gunther and Punk just to prolong Drew and Punk just for bad blood. Don't waste Gunther and Punk for that. So I absolutely agree with you in regards to it. And like I said, bro, I'm so sick of number one contenders matches and tournament matches. Anything to get away from that, Carlo, I'm all for it. So trust me. So hopefully that's maybe the case in regards to it. You know, where Drew McIntyre, you know, this dude is going to be steaming. This dude is going to be pissed. You might as well, man, make like a really true, just an epic moment to where Drew McIntyre just beats the holy hell out of this dude and challenges him to bad blood. And then maybe, you know, or however you want to spin it, right? But you have Drew issue the challenge like, this ain't over until I say it's over. You know, bad blood, October 5th, inside Hell in a Cell. You know, that's honestly the way it should go. Who knows how they spin this, but we shall see. But all we know is that Punk and McIntyre and what they did this past yesterday, was really damn good. And honestly, arguably the match of the night, if I'm being honest with you. This was really, really damn good all around for sure. So that definitely bounced back after those first two matches. So now there is 2 in the good for this good and bad and the ugly review. Now we go over to the mixed tag match. The mixed tag match that was between the Terror Twins, which is Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, versus the team of Liv Morgan, who is your your WWE Women's World Champion, and Dirty Dominic Mysterio. This match time and length was 14 minutes. Not gonna lie, this was also very simplistic, but yet very effective matchup. But everybody played well. They started off slow, like testing each other out and everything. There was a really cool epic moment to where Rhea got her hands on Dominic and did the same like leg choke out on the turnbuckles, the same way she did it with Dominic like years ago. I thought that was kind of good.
And nostalgia. The crowd went nuts.
And the crowd went nuts over it. I thought that was really, really good, right? We would hoping and just trying to, or grinding our teeth of when that moment was going to be like for Rhea to get her hands on Dominic. And that was truly a really good, memorable moment in the match. That was really done very well. Liv Morgan also is tremendous too, man. The way that she sells, the way that she now carries herself too, with this confidence, hitting that sunset flip on the outside to Rhea Ripley, right? Really good stuff. There was a point in the match though, where I think she got a little bit over amplified and she did that dive bomb and she overshot it. She almost like broke her neck. Yeah. But either way, I was scared for her for a second. But still, dude, all these people did their thing in this match. Or the rest of the Judgment Day ends up interfering to try to help out Liv Morgan and Dominic. Dominic goes for this frog splash. Damian Priest kicks out. The look on Finn Balor's face was priceless. Finn Balor is so good. I got some stuff to say about Finn Balor later on. But it was all said and done. Damian Priest ended up taking out Dominic on top of the announce table. Rhea Ripley ends up having this looking at Liv Morgan while her back is turned. She ends up just hits a brutal headbutt underneath the chin to Liv Morgan, hits the riptide, and covers her for the 1, 2, and 3. And the Terror Twins win this match over Dominic and Liv Morgan. This was, again, man, a very simplistic, but definitely a very effective match. I actually don't mind Damian and Rhea winning this match because I'll be honest with you, Carl, and I'll try to make this short and send this off to you. Rhea doesn't even need this championship anymore. She really doesn't. Liv Morgan needs this title more than Rhea Ripley. So if you are wanting to prolong this to another matchup, maybe at Bad Blood or whatever pay-per-view that they want to do this, having Rhea Ripley have this victory, pinning the champion clean, she's already a top face. Why does she need this championship, right? And you can also do that to set up Damian as well as Finn. You know, that's a good way to also for Damian's stock as well. But Liv Morgan's got to continue this heel shtick, man. So she takes this L that does nothing to her because of how well and how everybody played their part and how well this match was. But when they fight again, one-on-one, Liv Morgan has to win this, has to continue to defend her championship. Rhea doesn't need this championship anymore. It's only going to just benefit her because she's already a top face. And for Liv Morgan, who still needs a little bit more juice and a little bit more of that rocket to really propel her to almost superstar status, her confidence continues to build by the day. Keep running this with Liv Morgan, man. I think she needs these cultivating victories more than Rhea Ripley does right now. So the Terror Twins going over and getting this little mini victory, this little winning the battle type thing over Dominic and Liv, no issue with it at all, man, as well as everybody played their part. Really cool moments in the match with Dominic and Rhea. I thought that was really good too. Yeah. So I'll keep this short, man. This mixed tag match, not great, but it goes into the good column. I can't put it into a great because of what CM Punk and Drew were able to do, but still simple, yet effective, and it accomplished what it needed to at the end of the day. Carlo, what are your thoughts, man, on this mixed tag?
Yeah, the crowd was super into this match, and this might be premature saying this, but I think Rhea is the female Roman Reigns. I mean, she is just so over right now. I mean, people absolutely love her. At the beginning of the match, everybody was chanting mommy, and Damian Priest was in the match for 20, 30 seconds, and the crowd already wanted Rhea Ripley. So, I mean, she is just so over right now. I absolutely love Rhea Ripley. But like you said, when you have a superstar that over, when you have a Roman, when you have a Rhea, like they don't need the championship because they are already elevated. So yeah, give it to someone like a Liv Morgan, because without that championship, then Liv Morgan's character would take a humongous hit. Yes. I thought everybody in this match was excellent. I thought that it flowed very, very well. I love the run in with the Judgment Day. Finn Balor is just awesome. He's a tremendous heel. I love him.
Yes.
The only thing with the ending, and I definitely understand why the Terror Twins won. However, I feel like Finn screwing Damian again would then be kind of the way for Damian to finally get his hands on Finn, potentially in a bad blood.
Yeah. I would have been fine with that too. Yeah.
One-on-one matchup, so that's kind of what I was thinking was going to happen, especially when Dom, when he hit that splash, I thought that was over because then they were going to set up Damian versus Finn going forward. But I know Triple H likes to play this long-term storytelling. So maybe he's setting that up for the Royal Rumble, maybe WrestleMania. Who knows? Who knows? But I thought it was a very well executed match. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley remind me of a young Triple H in China. Now, I mean, like that could also be premature as well. But I mean, they are hot baby. Priest is a better baby face than he was as a heel in the Judgment Day when he was doing nothing with that briefcase. I absolutely think that this is what Damian Priest needed. I think Rhea is one of the biggest baby faces in the company. I just hope WWE doesn't mess this up. Keep Rhea and Damian together. I definitely think that they could both be like some of the biggest faces on the Raw brand.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the Judgment Day, obviously this hasn't been perfect by all means in regards to ever since the turns and everything that happened since SummerSlam, but it's been the most consistent out of a lot of things in this company. And absolutely, Rhea and Damian do have a good look and a visual together, and hopefully that continues with this Terror Twins type of spiel that they got going on. I do hope that as well. And I hear where you're coming from, Carlo. Yeah, because my first suspicion that Dominic and Liv were going to win this match. Because like you said, it's also you're trying to build up Damian getting his hands on Finn by having him cost him another matchup. Because I really do hope that they don't continue to make this new Judgment Day stable like the cowardly heels. And they're always retreating because they're retreating when they have the strength in numbers. Right? If you're continuing to do that, then you're just doing nothing but just derail the faction overall, against. And again, it's Damian and it's Rhea, right? They're no two small individuals, right? But it is 5-on-2. And we expect maybe that number.
And they are the tag champions.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just, so I hope that they make this faction still dominant and still like the dastardly heels that they do need to be. And Finn Balor is so good, man. Finn Balor needs to be a bigger focal point of these shows. And I've stated about it on Raw because there's so much filler on Raw. You have the Judgment Day, you have the Wyatt Six, you got Bronson Reed, and you have Punk and McIntyre. That should be the bulk of your show, right? Just continue to tell stories and have moments through that show, tell stories and do these moments throughout the night to have people have a reason to continue to watch, right? Instead of tuning out and being like, oh, are the Olympics on? Yeah, let me turn on the Olympics because I'm not missing anything. I know what's happening. Nothing's intriguing. Nothing's captivating me. I got there's no fear in missing out on anything. So, and like you said about the finish with the Terror Twins, I hear you on that. I mean, I would have been fine if Finn cost Damian, distracted Damian, Dominic hits the frog splash and the match would have been over there. I still would have given it a good if it was that case scenario as well. So either finish, whether it was the finish we got or the finish, which was Dominic hitting the frog splash and pinning Damian Priest, I would have been fine either way. But still, I don't mind this in regards to Rhea and Liv Morgan, and their whole animosity and build. Absolutely. No doubt. It is a weird concept that Dominic and Liv didn't win this match. But for Liv's case, right, she loses this mixed tag, but then when it's all said and done, she ends up winning the bigger match, the one-on-one match at Bad Blood or whatever match they decide to do this match in. So we'll see. We shall see where it goes. I do like the consistency of the storyline. Again, it hasn't been great by any means, but it has been really good. And it has been consistent, and I just hope that it continues moving forward. Everybody played their roles so well. Make Finn Balor, WWE, make Finn Balor a bigger focal point in these shows, man. He is too damn freaking good. Bring back the demon character, please. Please.
Absolutely.
I like, bro, we gotta, hopefully that's the case when he does fight Damian Priest one-on-one. Hopefully that's the case. I mean, I get it. He's talked about how he doesn't want to use it as a crutch, and that's totally fine. Like, we don't need to see the demon every week, but bro, we never see this fucking character anymore, man. Like, at least show it more than what you've been doing, man. Like, that character is too larger than life to just keep it locked up the way he's keeping it locked up. But still, man,
I think, I mean, and this would be an interesting curveball, but I feel like this new Judgment Day is almost missing, like, they're missing something, you know, like they had that big brute presence with Damian Priest, you know, I mean, especially with Rhea Ripley, you know, so in my opinion, like, I don't think that they need like an added member. However, what Bronson Reed has been doing has been magnificent. I think they should almost have a segment where like Finn like has a deal with Bronson Reed to take out Damian Priest, and he does to Damian Priest what he did to Seth Rollins and what he did to Braun Strowman. I think they could do that to say, hey, Liv, you're going to go one-on-one with Rhea, and Damian's not going to be in the picture because we took him out. And then you could prolong that story between Finn and Damian, and then Damian could come back, finally get his hands on Finn, instead of, you know, you have that match at Bad Blood between Finn and Damian, but then what do both of them do after that? You know, I feel like that's a way to kind of prolong this match between Finn and Damian and not rush it immediately. And also that gives another big face and big person that Bronson Reed could just take out, because I love what they're doing with him, but I want it to lead to something bigger. I think Bronson Reed should just take out everybody.
Yeah. I would have to think more about that in regards to Bronson Reed. Because the one thing I don't want to happen, Carlo, is that, because you're right, they could go that route. They definitely could in regard the way that Bronson Reed's being booked. And so far I've been really been pleased with how they've been doing that. The one thing I hope that they don't do, and I can see them doing it, is they have someone like Finn Balor, maybe not have him join the Judgment Day, but kind of like a handshake type of deal to have him take out Damian Priest, but yet it's Bronson Reed as the stepping stone to get to Finn. And the last thing I want for Bronson to be is just that little stepping stone for Priest to build up his stature as a face, taking out big Bronson Reed just to get to Finn. But I hear you in regards to like taking out Damian Priest, right? Like on a handshake deal. Maybe it's not even a match, but like a backstage attack or something, the tsunami splash like he's been doing. It would depend on how they do it and how it's going to benefit not just Priest, but also Bronson Reed. Because the last thing that I want Bronson Reed to do is to be inserted into this Judgment Day shtick and just kind of be like that stepping stone for Priest to get to Balor. I really hope that that's not the case, but we'll see if that's what they want to do. But we'll see. But I do like what they're doing with Bronson Reed. Again, Damian Priest, it is refreshing what Damian Priest has evolved in. Like, I agree with you immensely about the briefcase. Even as a heel, man, I think he had his place as a heel. The problem is that he was given this briefcase and the title to get him over. When you give that briefcase and the title to somebody that's already over, like an LA Knight that was in that same fucking matchup when he should have won that briefcase, right? And now finally, after the second time, he didn't want to do it the first time with the United States title. Now after a year, when he was already white hot, now you want to give him the U.S. title. It's just so odd booking on LA Knight's end. So I think for Priest, it's not really his talent. We all know the talent that he has and how much he's evolved. It was just the timing for him. The timing was not there for Priest. And now this is what he should have been doing, things like this, since the beginning, right? Being in feuds that are captivating, that are somewhat intriguing for us to care more about Priest. Nobody cared about Priest with the briefcase because there was no real reason to care about Damian Priest. You give him all these titles and a briefcase, and yet he's not doing anything. He's just there. You're not really doing anything at all. You know, just because you place a briefcase and a title on somebody just means like, yeah, here's the briefcase on him. Now start caring about him. It's not how it works. So yeah, it's just so much love to Damian Priest though. Absolutely. All right. With all of this being said, now let's get to the main event of this show. This was for the World Heavyweight Championship. This was your champion Gunther taking on challenger Randall Keith Orton. This matchup was legit over 35 minutes in length. The matchup started off slow, which we expected because it's Orton and he's older, so they kind of want to go the slow route. However, it was too slow to where it kind of really dragged on. Orton's trying to like interact with the crowd and do the wave and all this shit, which was funny. It had its moments, but then it really just started to kind of drag at that point. It picked up towards the end with some spots with the table and the steel steps. But when it was all said and done, Randy Orton or Gunther applies a chokehold on to Randy Orton. Orton passes out, and Gunther retains his championship. And that's not all. That's not all. So you're thinking, James, that's it. So Gunther just wins the title and that's it? Oh, no, there's more. Guys, Gunther gets up. Orton gets back from consciousness. They face each other in the middle of the ring. Gunther extends his hand, and Randy Orton fucking shakes his hand.
Huh?
Guys, Orton should have just gave him an RKO. I mean, that would have made a lot more sense.
Guys, I want people to understand this, right? Like, don't overthink this. This is legit what's going on here. Randy Orton and Gunther. Gunther was the same guy several weeks ago that called Randy Orton a screw-up. He called his family a screw-up. And then several weeks later, chokes him the fuck out. And then Orton shakes his fucking hand. What the fuck? What, guys, that's how you end the pay-per-view? Is Orton looking like a schmuck and saying, oh, thanks, dude, best of luck, much love, thanks for calling me and my family screw-ups a couple of weeks ago, take care, much love. Are you fucking kidding me? That, like, what the fuck are we doing, bro? That's how you end the pay-per-view? Again, the matchup was fine. I mean, it dragged on a lot, I mean, I get why it dragged. They want to make it slow because of Orton and his back and all these injuries that he's had over the years, right? And I would have been fine with just the pass out finish, and then maybe Gunther just celebrates with his crowd in Germany, right? I mean, he's already pretty much, I guess, somewhat of the face because, you know, that's his home country. So if you want to just have Gunther I mean, it's simplistic. It's not that big of a cliffhanger to end the pay-per-view. But if that's all you wanted to do, to give Gunther his moment in front of Germany, that would have been fine. But to make Orton look like the schmuck and to have this dude shake the top heel in the company, shake his fucking hand after calling his family losers and screw-ups, not like legit several weeks ago. What? This is Randy fucking Orton. This is the same dude that punted Vince McMahon in the skull, right? That kissed Stephanie McMahon in front of Triple H. What are we fucking doing? How does this make Randy Orton look? Right? And here's the worst part of it, Carlo, right? And I'll send this off to you. It also diminishes his turn potential with Cody. Why wouldn't he turn on Cody now? He just shook hands with the top heel in the fucking company. Why wouldn't he turn on Cody Rhodes at this point? Does anybody think of this? This is so fucking dumb. Carlo, you mentioned the Attitude Era, right? Imagine if Stone Cold Steve Austin shook Vince McMahon's hand after all the heat and animosity that they created together. Imagine if Triple H shook freaking Booker T's hand, right? Imagine if freaking at AEW All In, Swerve Strickland handshake Bryan Danielson's hand, right? Imagine if Will Ospreay shook hands with freaking MJF, right? Imagine any feud with like Macho Man Randy Savage, heel Savage against Ultimate Warrior. You don't have a top heel and a face go through grueling, not just a match, but insulting somebody's family and handshaking afterwards. What is this mutual respect? We see this, Carlo, every single chance we get to where we have a good wrestling match, right? And we it's like a collegiate sport, right? Whoever the best wrestler is, and we show respect and we shake hands, right? Like just to pull back the curtain, this is a predetermined fucking match, and it's pro wrestling. This isn't actual real combat sport. What is the obsession with shaking hands? It's so fucking weird. You already see it with faces. That's one thing. This is a heel, the top heel in the company that just called Damian Priest straight trash. Yeah, and now here he is again. And now months later, he calls Orton and his family screw-ups. But then there's Orton be like, oh, much respect, man. Grueling match. You know, you called my family freaking screw-ups, but you know what? I have respect for you, bro. Much love. See you down the road. What the fuck are we doing, dude? Guys, I'm sorry. No, I'm not going to waste time. Carlo, I apologize for holding you up because I know you got stuff to say. Guys,
that's okay. You take your time.
I'm gonna just show my tally right there. That's fucking ugly. The ending to that show and how just underwhelming it was and how baffling it fucking was. You know what? I'm not done. No, I'm not. Let's have a party, Carlo. You know what? That doesn't get two uglies. That gets another fucking ugly. You know what? I'm not even done. I'm just gonna write another ugly. Boom. There you go. That's 4 uglies. A heel, a top face shaking hands with the top heel that call him and his family screw-ups and failures.
Just crumple the paper, James. Just there you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
What the fuck are we doing, bro? Go ahead, Carlo. I've said a lot. I apologize, and I'll probably got a lot to say more. Go ahead.
That is your okay. But yeah, like one thing first about Stone Cold shaking Vince McMahon's hand. He did after WrestleMania 17. And I remember that was one of the worst heel turns, in my opinion, in wrestling history, because everyone still cheered Stone Cold Steve Austin for the next 4 months because he was the face of the company. But back to what happened. The match itself, I thought was fine. Like you said, it definitely could have been cut down short by about 10, 15 minutes for sure. I definitely think I love Orton lost by getting choked out. I like that he didn't lose by a pinfall to kind of not lose momentum, especially if he starts to go down the road fighting Cody Rhodes and not losing any momentum. Gunther as world champion, it's just fitting that like him Him
Absolutely.
having that belt is bringing it back to its prestige. This is the most prestige that I think the World Heavyweight Championship has had since it came back when Seth Rollins won it. But like what you just shared, Gunther is like this final boss. He's this brute guy. He's supposed to be this big heel who's menacing, and then he's shaking hands with opponents at the end of it. The only thing I can see why Triple H would do this, and I'm not justifying it, it doesn't make any sense, but I think he wants even the heels, when they fight in their home country, to be seen as the face. He did it with Rhea Ripley against Nia Jax in Australia because she won clean, even though she was a heel. You know, he did the same thing with the Unholy Union, winning the tag titles in their home country, won clean, and they got a huge ovation. He kind of wants the same thing, but it doesn't make sense because Gunther is this brute, massive man, you know, who chops everybody to hell, clotheslines them, powerbomb them, choke them out, and then he's shaking hands at the end of it. It doesn't really make any sense.
None.
And yeah, I mean, you know, yeah, like could you ever imagine Edge shaking John Cena's hand after Edge slapped Cena's father right in the face? No, yeah, no. Or like what you said, you know, or literally Randy Orton punt kicking Triple H's father-in-law, his brother-in-law, giving an RKO to his wife, kissing his wife while Triple H was handcuffed to the rope, then hit Triple H in the head with a sledgehammer. Could you imagine Triple H shaking his hand? Like no, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you know? Absolutely, bro.
So yeah, and kind of back to the ruthless aggression and Attitude Era. I remember when heels were back in their own hometown, home country, they said something bad about their hometown. They were embarrassed to be from there. You know, so many heels would always say that. You know, but then here's Gunther then, who grabs the mic afterwards and talks about how proud he was to be back home and stuff. It was like it ruins that heel character. You know, he should have called them a bunch of idiots, a bunch of drunks. Like that is how you get over as a heel.
Yeah. And bro, it's like it's ridiculous. Now, fuck that. I grabbed the paper back, Carlo. I'm adding another fucking ugly. That's 5 fucking ugly. You can't see it, guys, because it's crumpled to shit. I added another fucking ugly. That's 5 uglies, bro. That's how bad and just baffled and fucking ridiculous this is. But yeah, Carlo, you're right. I mean, you're absolutely right in regards to what they're trying to accomplish. I get it. They did it with Rhea, right? They've done it with many other people in their home country. Just leave Orton out of it, right? Just have Gunther just hoist up the title and have the crowd and have their ovation with Gunther, have some pyro if you want. That's fine. But why are you putting in Orton, making him look like the biggest fucking dweeb? He's already lost his last 7 PLEs, right? 7 straight PLEs that he's been a part of, right? And now you're going to make him more look like a schmuck by shaking this dude's fucking hand. Guys, there's a reason why, bro, the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era were top notch, is because they didn't do shit like this. And I know there's more people are going to be out there saying, oh, James, you hate Triple H, bro. You're so negative about Triple H because he does dumb shit like this, right? That ruins these people's characters, right? And ruins just the mystique and who they are. It's not good booking, bro. That's why I'm pissed.
I would say, could you ever imagine JBL shaking Eddie Guerrero's hand after he gave his mother a heart attack? Right?
Bro,
yeah, right.
Bro, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, bro. Exactly, man. Imagine Triple H shaking Orton's hand Randy Orton shaking Triple H's hand after Triple H broke into his house. Right?
Yeah.
Imagine that shit. Like, guys, this is wrestling 101, bro. Right? Listen, I get it. Listen, part of me, I get overly animated, I get amplified, but guys, like, let's dial it back down for just a second, right? And I'm leaving those 5 uglies, by the way. Those aren't going anywhere. But let's dial it back for a second, guys, and now really talk rationally about this. It's a top heel in Gunther who has called people like Damian street trash and has called Orton a screw up and a failure. His father, his grandfather, failures. And several weeks later, he's extending his hand to Orton, and Orton is shaking his fucking hand. How do you end a pay-per-view like this? Oh, James, but it's Germany and it's Gunther. They want to make him look more like the hero and the top guy and the top whatever. Guys, I don't give a shit if it's in Germany, if they're on fucking Mars, if they're on the moon. You don't do shit like this. This ruins people. It's fucking baffling. It's not good booking, man. It ruins people like Orton and their credibility, who's supposed to be sadistic and vicious against opponents, hopefully against Cody Rhodes in the future. And you have him shake the top heel's hand that diminishes his future turn against Cody. Because why wouldn't he turn against Cody at this point? He shook Gunther's hand. Guys, think about it. It's not that hard to rationalize, bro. I know I'm repeating myself a lot in this, but guys, I'm doing it because it's horrible booking. This is a pay-per-view. I don't care if it's SummerSlam, Money in the Bank, WrestleMania. This is still a pay-per-view. Even though it's international, you can argue if it's a B-level pay-per-view. You cannot end the night off like that by having a heel and a face after what they said to one another the last several weeks, shake each other's hand like it's a collegiate sport. Stop. It's fucking so dumb. I would have been fine, Carlo, right? Even though the match wasn't the greatest, it picked up towards the end, the match itself, right? And the pass out finish, yes, I liked. I do like when the pass out finishes are done, when it's done well. And this was one of those was one of those matches to where the pass out was needed, right? And I would have been fine. You have freaking Orton pass out. He's took out Orton in front of his crowd, his home country, his homeland in Germany. He's got that title overhead and all this pyro's going off. I would have somewhat considered putting this into the good, seriously. And we would have gotten a favor in this pay-per-view to where this was a good pay-per-view. But guys, I can't do that. After what the fuck I just saw with Orton and Gunther and shaking hands, right? We went down the list already, Carlos. Stone Cold and Vince McMahon, Triple H and Shawn and Triple H, right? John Cena and Edge. Imagine if these people, after all the animosity and heat against one another, imagine if they were to just shake hands and kiss and hug and say, "See you down the road." Are you
imagine if Bruce Wayne invited the Joker over to his house for dinner? Right? yeah.
Right. That's the thing, bro. Like when you put it in those terms, it sounds ridiculous because it is. It's ridiculous. It's not. We laugh about it because it's so obnoxiously just so laughable and bad if that were to ever happen, right? Yeah, it's just 100%. Oh my god.
And yeah, like back to kind of like a bigger like talking point is that yes, like this PLE, in my opinion, for the in-ring matches and for it being watchable, I enjoyed this more than some of the previous ones. I enjoyed this more than Money in the Bank. I enjoyed this more than Clash at the Castle. However, though, in my opinion, there are too many superstars that are being excluded from these PLEs. Not every match needs to be 20 minutes. You know, this main event did not have to be 30, 35 minutes long. You could have fit Uncle Howdy versus Chad Gable, Uncle Howdy's first match at a PLE. Instead, you have his match versus Chad Gable on Monday night, Lip and Raw. Yeah. Right? You know,
absolutely, bro. Shout out to Brian. He said the same thing.
Well, yeah, exactly. You know, well, first of all, I would have had that match at SummerSlam, which was a major on the PLE. But yeah, you know, not every single match has to have not every single PLE has to have backstage segments. You don't need ambassadors from the home country coming out saying, "Oh, we got 13,000. Wow, whoop-de-doo." You know, it's like, cool. That is a graphic you could show on the screen for 20 seconds, you know, and then you're back to the action. You don't have to have 4-minute entrances. It's like, you know, for everyone talking about how loaded this roster is, they don't do a good enough job of actually showcasing them because they only have 5 matches at these PLEs when they could easily fit in 2 more matches. You know, why isn't Braun Breaker on this show? Why isn't Jey Uso on this show? Why wasn't the Bloodline? Why weren't Jacob Fatu, or not Jacob Fatu, but Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga defending their tag team titles on this PLE? instead of doing it every week on SmackDown against flipping Johnny
DIY.
Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. It's like yeah, no, like it just doesn't make sense. You talk about having so much young talent, all these great matches, but you don't showcase them enough, or else they'd be on your PLEs.
Dude, couldn't agree more, man. Absolutely. I'm just gonna reveal my tally. Like I said, it's crumpled up. It's crumpled to shit. I added another fucking ugly. That just shows you. So there's 6 uglies in this column, guys. Oh, James, that's a little harsh. Nope, it's fucking.
And there was only 5 matches. And there was
only 5 guys. 5 matches, and there's 6 uglies. That just shows you how pathetic and how horrible this ending was. So if you tally that up, people, I don't know if you can see that, but that's 11 in the bad and 3 in the good. I don't want to have to do that, but that's justified. People are going to say, oh, you're a little harsh, you're a little over the top. I feel like that's freaking fair, if I'm being completely honest with you, because of how horrible that shit is, guys. And listen, I don't, and Carlo, and I'll end it with this, right? I get it, right? We've dealt with somebody like Vince McMahon in creative for 10 plus years. And it's just like, we've dealt with that so much. And now we're clinging onto something that is just slightly better than Vince McMahon in the last 10 years. And now Triple H comes here that, yeah, does something slightly better in certain areas, but we blow it out of proportion like this dude is a creative god when he's just maybe average. That's all he is, bro. Yeah. Trust me. I am telling you, with stories with people like Vince Russo that I have read, to where when he worked with DX back in the Attitude Era, back in the 90s, he would always mention that Triple H back then even never had any creative ideas for Vince Russo back then. None of them. None. Even in NXT, to where, yeah, he did some things, even with Bray Wyatt's character, even with the Lantern, that was his idea. I'll give him credit with that. The tag titles with the World Tag titles, they do look really nice, and they needed an upgrade. Much love for Triple H there. I will give Triple H his kudos, right? People think that I just bash Triple H because I hate the dude. Oh, you hate Triple H, you hate WWE. It's not the case at all, right? When I praise Triple H for doing something good, it's justified. But I will not hesitate, guys, to when he does something as dumb as what he did, which is take a top face and a top heel and shake their fucking hands. That is baffling, and that I have to call out. So, that's it, man. That's it. Triple H, listen, much love. I'm sure he's a good dude, right? I'm sure there's a lot of people in that locker room that respect him, right? And regardless, guys, of what you hear from wrestlers, that this is the best era in all of professional wrestling, even better than the Attitude Era. It's the best it's ever been. Guys, it's not. There's still a lot of work that this company needs to improve, right? Maybe the culture, right, and the attitude is better backstage now with Triple H, because a lot of people respect and admire Triple H. They respect him, and the attitude and the atmosphere is better. No question, absolutely. And I couldn't imagine, some uncomfortable conversations and uncomfortable situations that they've dealt with Vince in the past, being the head honcho and the CEO of that company. But guys, like, for 10 plus years, we've dealt with Vince McMahon and his horrible booking. And trust me, I've been through it all. I was part of the Ruthless Aggression era, for fuck's sake. I've seen all of it, right? But to take something of Triple H and what he's doing and to blow it out of proportion, that he's cooking, that WWE is on fire. The only thing that WWE is doing that's on fire is financially. That's why you see them going to these international events. That's why you see these deals with Netflix. That's why you see these deals with Fox, even though Vince McMahon was part of that when it happened, right? And the real GOAT, or the real dude that's cooking in WWE, Carlo, is Nick Khan. I've said it for so many times now. It's Nick Khan, bro. The way that he continues to make WWE money by the day, by the second, right, is the reason why WWE is in the position with Netflix, with Peacock, and other of all these partnerships, right, with Endeavor, right, with people like with TNA Impact and what they're doing with NXT, right? I mean, most of that, of course, is with Endeavor for the most part, right? But with Nick Khan, like, it's all him, bro, financially. But the content of the wrestling itself, guys, in this company is inconsistent. It's lackluster, and majority of it, not all of it, majority of it still fucking sucks.
And
It just does.
also too, like it's funny that you're bringing it up. All because everybody they will always go to like how much money WWE is making at all these big shows, and it's like yes, it's because everything is magnified today. It's 2024. Everything's on a global scale. So I mean, WWE has done a tremendous job of going to India, Japan, Saudi Arabia, all these places. They didn't do that back in the day. Why? It was 20 years ago. You know, you weren't able to have partnerships worth $1 billion or $10 billion like what they're going to have with Netflix. You know, there weren't all these streaming platforms like Peacock and Paramount and Fox and all this stuff. It's different times. So also too, when people bring that up, it's like, could you imagine if this was 2001 and you had Stone Cold and The Rock and you had Kurt Angle and you had Triple H and Kane? Do you think WWE, if you put those guys in their prime today, 2024, would WWE be bigger? Absolutely, it would. It would. I mean, those are the biggest stars in wrestling history. You know, you can't tell me that the stars today could shine those guys' shoes. You know, so yes, from a profitability standpoint and for like global scale, of course it's bigger because of more resources. It's 2024, guys, and it's like so yeah, it's not fair to talk about money because a Stone Cold Steve Austin t-shirt you bought in 1999 was $8. It's $45 today. That's
right.
Yeah, so
and that's the thing too about, sorry to cut you off, Carlo. And that's the thing too about revenue, right? Like I mentioned, like they're making record revenue. That's great, but revenue is up in all areas, right? Look at freaking the people making money in football right now. Jordan Love, he's the highest paid quarterback right now in football, right? Shohei Ohtani, who just got a $500 contract. Like, guys, that's just life. There's record revenue everywhere. That doesn't mean the product is at an all-time high.
That doesn't mean Shohei Ohtani. That doesn't mean that Shohei Ohtani is better than Willie Mays, and that doesn't mean Jordan Love is better than Tom Brady.
Right. Yeah. Exactly, bro.
Exactly.
You hit the nail on the
head.
That's
the mindset. That's the mindset that people have because it's what's relevant to today. You know,
absolutely.
A lot of people are not like you and I. You know, they haven't been able to watch 25 years of wrestling, and maybe they have on Peacock streaming. But we were in those moments watching those pay-per-views. They weren't PLEs; they were pay-per-views you had to actually buy for $50. That like watching those live, it was just a different feeling. You know, just amazing characters, great promos, fantastic matches, really elevated the stories. And I mean, you know, and they had numerous top guys. And like you said, talking about the Ruthless Aggression era, guys, you had Brock Lesnar as a main eventer, Kurt Angle, John Cena, JBL, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Jericho, Triple H, Batista, Randy Orton. I just named 9 main eventers. How many main eventers do we have today? Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and who else? Gunther, Randy Orton, Seth Rollins. Okay. And then CM Punk, who's wrestled 2 matches in the last year, and that's it. I mean, you know, and for the Ruthless Aggression standpoint, I listed like 9 guys. I could have listed about 17 or 18 guys. Right. You know, so yeah, you know, that's really the main problem is that WWE just hasn't been able to get these stars over. You know, They talk about all the young talent, but they're just wasting all the young talent. And then a lot of these guys, unfortunately, I'm sorry, but the hourglass is going to be up on an LA Knight. Hourglass is going to be up on a Jey Uso. So WWE needs to capitalize on these guys now before all these wrestlers just their momentum's completely gone.
Yeah, dude, couldn't agree more, man. Couldn't agree more. I should add another fucking ugly. I'm really thinking about doing this right now before you know it. Fuck it. I'm adding another one. I'm gonna fucking add another one. There's another freaking ugly right there. That turns into freaking 13 uglies. There you go, or 13 bads. I'm telling you, man. Listen, you guys, I'm telling you, bro, and Carlo, you know this better than anybody. You will never hear this type of honesty and truth, right? And less sugarcoat, straightforward than on this fucking platform, bro, right? When everybody's praising this and saying how great it was, right? This was Triple H cooked, we ate good, and I'm just here going, fucking where? Who? Right? The New Day's gimmick. Who? Come on, man.
100%, 100%. Well, and yeah, I mean, it's because most fans today, that are active on social media, this is really the only era that they're really familiar with. Like what I said, they didn't grow up in the Ruthless Aggression era. They didn't grow up in the Attitude era. It's like, we have been through those eras where we have seen significantly better wrestling. And also, too, give it up to the announcers, okay? Like, yes, I love Michael Cole, Pat McAfee, great guys. But when you watch the live match or a big match with Jim Ross and Jerry King Lawler on the microphone, it was 5 times better, okay? So,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Absolutely.
Watching a match back then was just something special. The people today they're not able to witness. So
yep, I couldn't said it any better, bro. Absolutely. Guys, this has been a crazy review. I know I got amplified for several minutes for felt like over 20 minutes, but that is going to do it. Again, I threw my card in the trash because I don't want to look at it anymore because I'm disgusted of what I had to do, but 13 bads to 3 goods, guys. I mean, we were on a good streak with some of these pay-per-views, even with SummerSlam, right? Even with Money in the Bank to a certain degree, right? Clash at the Castle, all these pay-per-views after WrestleMania, we've been on a good streak, more goods than bads lately since WrestleMania. But guys, this came at a screeching halt with just all the weird, baffling booking decisions that just have to be called out. And if no one else wants to call it out, then I have no pleasure being the asshole in this community. I just, but look, much love to Punk and McIntyre. Much love to all the Judgment Day members, as those were honestly, Carlo, if I had to be honest with you, the only 2 matches that I was most looking forward to that had only any true amount of consistency and steam, and they both delivered. So honestly, I can't be shocked. And then these other 3 matches were very weird in regards to how we got to that point with KO and Cody. Yeah. Not that match was even bad either, right? Not even the Gunther and Orton match was bad, but digging down deep into it and the booking and how people are placed and the mannerisms and what you choose people to do. Like, again, hear me again, Orton shaking Gunther's hand is fucking so stupid, man. It is. And that's it, man. But Carlo, I want to thank you so much, man, for joining me for this show. This was a blast. It's been great getting to know you, and it's been great seeing you do your thing and making content. Like I said, we've been trying to get you on this platform for a while, so I'm glad we were able to get it done and to bring you onto the show. Thank you so much for also supporting us, Ruthless Talk, and this platform. And like I said, bro, you are more than welcome to come back onto this platform anytime. We'll definitely be in touch in regards to it. Once again, if you guys want to check out Carlo and his amazing content, all of his stuff, all of his socials, everything will be in the description box down below for you guys to give him a follow and to check him out. But that is it, guys. That is the full Bash and Berlin review. Thank you guys so much for joining us and for tuning in. Again, once again, happy Labor Day to everybody. Hopefully everybody had a great holiday weekend. Make sure you guys stay tuned for more episodes to come. Brian will be back with me this coming week as he will give his thoughts and his takes on this pay-per-view. That will be the cold open of the next episode, the next show. So make sure you guys stay tuned for it, as well as follow us on Instagram and TikTok. That is Ruthless_Talk. We are very close to 2,000 followers on TikTok. So make sure you guys hit that follow button. Make sure you guys follow us on TikTok. Get us to 2,000 followers on TikTok. Spread the word and join our amazing, loving community. So thank you guys so much for always tuning in, and there will be more content to come. Carlo, any final thoughts before we end the show?
Thank you so much for having me, James. I really appreciate it. Thank you for allowing me to just express just my opinions on Bash and Berlin and my other wrestling knowledge on your platform. So thank you for inviting me to the Ruthless Talk podcast. And yeah, we will have to go and do this again soon, my friend. This was a lot of fun.
Absolutely, bro. Likewise. The feeling is mutual, bro. There's no doubt we will definitely do this again sometime soon. Maybe a roundtable, maybe a Raw review or SmackDown review, but no doubt, bro, we'll be in touch. And you are no doubt. Thank you again for all the support that you brought to the community. And no doubt you definitely are a member of this amazing community just for all the support that you gave us. And we have no doubt we'll give you that same love right back. Keep doing what you're doing, bro. And again, check out Carlo and his content. All of that stuff is in the description down below to check out Carlo, and make sure you follow him on social media and all other platforms. That is going to do it, y'all, for today's review. This was the WWE Bash in Berlin review, and that is going to do it, guys. My name is James Porcelli. Alongside Carlo, we are both signing off, saying salute, peace out, and take care, everybody. Top guys, out. The skin is dry and pale, the pain will never fail, and so we go back.